Imagine two very rich and successful people get married. They have a big ceremony, first few months are going well, and the woman even becomes pregnant with their first child. But one day, out of nowhere, they disappear off of the face of the earth. This story is about the disappearance of the newlyweds in Busan. Kim Yoon-suk married Choi Seung-hee in late 2015. Both were in their 30s. Kim Yoon-suk was a restaurant owner and Choi Seung-hee was a local theater actress. They had a grand marriage ceremony and they were awaiting the arrival of their first child. On 27th of May 2016, Choi Seung-hee attended a drama class and then stopped at a convenience store on her way home. After all of this, she reached home around 11:30 p.m. and we know this because of the security camera that was in the elevator. Her husband Kim Yoon-suk, however, was out drinking with his co-workers and he wouldn't reach home until 3 to 4 a.m. the next day, which was also caught on the same elevator CCTV camera. And the creepy thing is, this was the last time they were ever seen because there was no footage of them leaving the building. It was like they just vanished from the face of the earth while inside the building. And it's not like the CCTV camera in the elevator is the only camera in the building. I mean, there are 21 different cameras in various different locations in this building. And 0 of them caught these guys leaving the building. And to make this case even more complex, it wasn't until May 31st, which is at least 3 or 4 days after the disappearance, that Kim Suk's father reported the couple missing in the police. And from that day onwards, the police investigation started, but till now, there has been no trace of either of the two people, and they remain missing. So when the police initially started their investigation, they noticed that the phones of both the people have been turned on multiple times. According to media outlet koreaboo.com, Choi Seung-hee's phone was used to send a message to the assistant director of the theater that she would be missing the next day's practice because she was ill. The assistant director received another message from Choi Seung-hee's phone on May 30th, which is 2 days after the disappearance. In this message, it said that Choi Seung-hee would be missing the play because she is being hospitalized like last time. This last time is a reference to the time when she was hospitalized previously, but due to an overdose that was triggered by her depression. The assistant director was already very suspicious about the messages because the language being used in these messages was very formal. And this was unlike Choi Seung-hee, who usually used very casual language when she was talking to him. Due to this suspicion, the assistant director called her husband Kim Yoon-suk to inquire about her condition. Now, he does claim that someone picked up from the other side, but he cannot confirm or deny that it was her husband after all, because he hasn't spoken to him ever. The person on the other side of the phone did confirm that Choi Seung-hee was indeed admitted in the hospital. However, the police found no record of her being admitted anywhere. Kim Yoon-suk's phone, on the other hand, was also used to send a message to the restaurant to tell them that he was exhausted and he was taking a break, but he would be sending funds to keep the restaurant operating. According to reports, some of the employees claimed that the voice on the other side of the phone when Kim Yoon-suk called did not actually sound like him, and the police also believed that the phone was used by a third person. Their phones finally switched off on June 2nd, 2016. Kim Yoon-suk's phone was still in Busan, but interestingly, Choi Seung-hee's phone was all the way in Seoul, which is around 250 miles from there. This caused the police to get an official warrant to search their apartment. When the police entered their apartment, they noticed that the phones, computers, and laptops were missing from the apartment, and this led them to believe that they must have left voluntarily. However, when they looked at the state of the apartment, where there was dishes in the sink, and that there were dog feces everywhere, and they haven't given food and water for the dog, they then believed that they must have left in a hurry or they were taken against their will. Another interesting observation was that the groceries that Choi Seung-hee bought on May 27th was sitting on the counter, but not all of it. because some of that was still in the car, meaning she didn't take all of it back to her apartment. Another important thing to note is the fact that there was no sign of forced entry or exit from the apartment. During the investigation, 70 different police officers looked at each and every camera in the building. Now, the police thought that they could have left through blind spots, which is entirely possible. In fact, there was no cameras in the emergency stairs that led to the first floor. But it is so tough to even find a blind spot to the camera and know where exactly it is. Now imagine doing that through multiple different cameras, down the stairs, and outside the building where there are more cameras. And to top it all off, the city of Busan has over 800 cameras covering it, and none of the city cameras caught these guys in the city at all. This also means that if a third person was involved, he would have to know exactly where the blind spots are and would have to be very familiar with the surroundings of the building. The police was confused because these guys didn't have any enemies and they couldn't figure out a motive for a third person to do any harm to them. But this was until they found their prime suspect. Kim Yoon-suk had an ex-girlfriend named Yoon who came to Korea on May 5th, 2016. They both had a very troubling breakup because of some family feud, but Yoon hadn't moved on from Kim and was still in love with him. Her first marriage broke up after 1 month because the husband thought that she was having an affair with Kim. After this, she got married again and she settled in Norway with her husband. However, things didn't get better for her over there because she suffered a miscarriage. This kind of sent her off the rails and she started blaming Kim for ruining her life, to the point that she was sending threatening text messages to Kim and Choi. This gives Yoon motive to harm the couple because she was jealous of Kim and Choi's marriage, and this is what made her the prime suspect. However, some employees at Kim's restaurant claimed that he kept a second phone to talk to Yoon, meaning that he was still in contact with her. And the strangest thing is that Yoon cut her trip short to June 7th when she flew back to Norway, and this was interestingly just 5 days after the police started their investigation. This made the police very suspicious and they tried to extradite her from Norway back to Korea through Interpol. However, the Norwegian government didn't agree to this because the Koreans didn't have enough evidence against her. On March 11, 2019, the police released the pictures and description of the couple, hoping that someone would have spotted them or have any information about them. But till now, nothing has been found. Now there are a bunch of theories going on around about this. One being that Yoon is the one who has harmed the couple and have made them disappear. Second being that Kim and Yoon worked together and then harmed Choi and ran away because Kim was in contact with her according to some of the employees. And lastly, there's also a theory with a happy ending where the couple got to know that Yoon is back in Korea and they were worried that she was going to try and harm them. So they both escaped to a place where Yoon couldn't find them and they're living a quiet and happy life over there. Even after all of these theories, the police are investigating every angle and they still haven't ruled out the fact that a third person who's not even listed yet could be involved in this. But whatever it may be, this case remains to this day unsolved. And that's the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this case, all the theories I mentioned, if you like them, if you agree with them, or if you have your own theory about what could have happened, because this case is still wide open. So let me know what you guys think about this video, the case, everything. And I'll try covering more of these topics, the strangest, bizarre, unsolved cases, or paranormal, UFO, ghosts, anything that is strange and bizarre, I will cover it. So you can stay tuned for more such content, and I will see you guys in the next one.